this. Sure, you all heard that loud and clear. Recording in progress. Happy Wednesday morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is JD. I am your digital marketing and technologies manager. I believe this is the third or fourth time we've done one of these DAP informational calls. So what we're talking about today is our Digital Accelerator Program. It's basically, our goal here is to give you guys a complete sort of rundown on the purpose of this program, the parts of it, the benefits of it, the goals of it, what we ask of our agents if you're part of the program, and then of course the team that's behind it, and some fun testimonials. So really just to give a complete overview of what Digital Accelerator is. I'm going to keep it to about an hour. I've been doing pretty well on that, even though Tracy and I are probably two of the biggest talkers in the company. So if we go to like 2.5, 3 hours, we'll try to add a bathroom break or something in there. But yeah, so what we're going to do today, I'm going to share my screen. And of course, there are ever moments where I think I'm sharing my screen and I'm not. Just write in the chat. If you guys have questions as we go, please write in the chat. So just kind of looking at this kind of timeline of the call today. Why Digital Accelerator? What is the program? Some of the keys to success that we have with the program, and then some testimonials and some follow-up information, how to follow up and get involved. So what we're going to start with first is why Digital Accelerator? Where did it come from? And then we're going to introduce, I don't probably think verbally, but we're going to talk about some of the team that's behind Digital Accelerator. So let's start with what it is. So Tracy and I have both been at the company, in time is a strange concept, for over 5 years now. And one of the things that we had consistently been hearing for a long time was, I want somebody to do my social media for me. We've had obviously tons of training, tons of resources on how to do these things. But at the end of the day, you might just be too busy with selling real estate, with helping buyers and sellers. You might not want to learn how to do it. You've got too much to do. You don't have the interest in it. There could be any number of reasons why, and you want somebody to do it for you. Now, my hesitancy was that there are so many third parties out there. I'm sure all of you guys will today, or at least this week, get some sort of email from a third party saying, hey, have you thought about our blah, 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 and we can do this and that for you and all that kind of stuff. And I've seen so many agents, purchase or sign up or subscribe to these services. And some of them are great. Some of them are really powerful. They know what they're doing. They're custom, stuff like that. In my experience, most of them do not provide actual business value. The angle with a lot of them is, hey, you pay us this much a month and we're going to post to your business page. And one of the stories I like to use is that on a Saturday morning once in one of our regions, when I was there, at I believe 8 or 9 a.m. I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw a post from one of our agents in that region with some text. They had a little bit of a customized video. The exact next post on my newsfeed was the exact same video with the exact same text from a different agent in our company, one office north of there. It was still customized to them, but you could tell it was the same company. And so, a lot of them seem to want to hook people on, well, a monthly subscription, a monthly fee, and we put stuff out there and you're good to go. So we wanted it to have actual business value. We didn't want it to be, hey, pay us this much a month and we'll post, articles on your Facebook page. We wanted there to be actual real business value. Things that can drive leads to your business, things that can drive marketing and brand awareness to you and your business. And then the other part of it was that we wanted to make sure it was cost effective as much as we could. Some of these programs out there that I've seen can, for actual advertising and stuff like that, can range from $1,000 to $3,000-$4,000 a month for some of these programs. So I wanted to make sure that Tracy and I especially want to make sure that we were able to provide real value while still making it as cost effective as possible, because we realized when launching this that this was going to be truly the first paid service from the marketing group. As I'm hopeful you guys all know, the marketing group services are completely complimentary. The only thing you pay for are the physical print deliverables. So when we decided we were going to launch this, we needed to make sure it was worth it. So we spent a lot of time developing this program, and what came out of it over the past 2 or 3 years now was what we're calling Digital Accelerator. Now, We also call that
Can't
DAP.
hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Can anybody else hear me? It might be an issue, Aline, with your. You can hear me, Heidi? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you, JD. You're coming through good.
I'm gonna send Aline a message real quick. Your computer, others can hear me. Check your volume settings. Thank you guys, appreciate that. There we go. So yeah, so what came out of it was the Digital Accelerator Program. Now I'm going to refer to that as DAP throughout the call because it's shorter to say. And I'm going to introduce you to our DAPPers, which is our digital marketing team, which is, we have a little internal logo that we made for the DAPPers and stuff like that. So yeah, what came out of it was Digital Accelerator, a program that we've had. We had started it probably about this time last year, and then really kind of put the pedal to the metal, I guess, around February or March, when we kind of have this digital team that we have in place now. So what I want to do is I want to tell you guys who this team is, and then I want to explain, what the goals of Digital Accelerator are on a high level view, and then kind of going in and talking about the actual line items in these packages, because what it is at its core is a digital marketing program where you work with one of our digital marketers to do your digital marketing for you. Facebook ads, Google ads, listings to leads things, lead generation, website maintenance, all of these things are done with your collaboration, but without you having to go into the tool. So first things first, though, I want to introduce you to the people who are going to be, who you would be working with on this. I'm pretty sure they're all on here. So Haley, Nicole, Brittany, if you guys are here, please turn your cameras on so we can say hi to everybody real quick. So Tracy and I have the pleasure. There's Haley. She's about 2 walls over. They're there. So Brittany, Haley, and Nicole, they are part of the digital marketing team. They are your digital marketing specialists. Tracy and I get the pleasure of working with them every day, and they are the reason why this program is as successful as it is. Some of the testimonials that I get to hear about them and the things that I get to see them create is just amazing. I had the pleasure of, I'm actually in Ohio right now, and we are at one of our offices, the Brecksville office, on Monday, and one of Nicole's clients was on a panel raving about her experience with Nicole, how great she is, how she loves the news. She was raving about the newsletter. I don't know if I told you that part, Nicole. She loved the newsletter you made her, and the accountability, or all these things. So it is so cool to get to work with them and also get to hear how much everyone else loves working with them. So Brittany and Haley and Nicole are 3 of the 4 digital marketers on our team. And you will get basically assigned with one of them, kind of connect with one of them, and then, you just have the best experience ever. So they are the team. Thank you guys for turning your cameras on. You can turn them off now. But thank you, I appreciate it. So they're the digital marketing team, and basically how this works is one of, you would, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the program itself, then we'll go through the structure of it all. So I'm going to go back to Schmidt Resources. Unsurprisingly, you guys could probably guess this. All of this information that you could possibly need is right here on Schmidt Resources. So when you go to any of your regions, we're going to click on Ohio because it's where we're sitting right now. Right here in the front row, or the top row, Digital Accelerator Packages. It's right there. You got the little rocket ship. That is the page that you're going to want to go to for this information. So what we're going to start with, like I said, we've got all the actual packages here. We're going to go into those in a second. But what I want to focus on right now is this bottom side paragraph here, because what's very, very important from the get-go is that we all understand what Digital Accelerator is, because we have had some telephone played with this before, right? Where we explain it to somebody, and then that person explains it to somebody else, and then that person explains it to somebody else, and then they come to us and say, hey, I've heard about this program you have that does ABC. And Tracy and I are like, that's not really what it is. And so what's important is that we're all on the same page about what this is. So what Digital Accelerator is a marketing and branding digital marketing program. It's a little redundant. So we kind of have broken down what the components of this are, what the focuses are. So the top part, and these percentages are guidelines, obviously, but 50% of this program is focused on brand reputation. This is how you are viewed by the consumer digitally. Does the consumer trust you and your brand, and are they confident to do business with you? This is where you'll work closely with one of our designers who, guess what, is also your digital marketer to build unique assets to you, custom assets to you that look amazing. They are, one of the things that's so important about this program is not just trying to market to new sellers and new buyers and new leads, but also to market to your sphere, to stay top of mind with the people you already have worked with and who know and trust you and love you. So 50% of this program, half of what we're trying to do here is focus on brand reputation, getting you out there consistently, because that's another key. We'll talk about that in a little bit, consistently in your market and to your sphere. About 40% of this is focused on marketing your listings, and then sold, open houses, stuff like that, things related to your properties. And another part of that we're really trying to focus on a lot, we've had a few calls about it with a team, is local market stats, wanting to really make it feel like, or to put out there how much of an expert you are in your market on what's going on in the real estate world. That is the sort of content that you deliver to your digital marketing specialist. So we'll talk about that in a couple minutes here too. It is a collaborative effort, right? They are doing the advertising and the posting for you, but you still have responsibilities in this program to make it as effective as it can be. And then the final part is 10% of the program is focused on lead opportunities. So when we're effective with those two focuses, the brand reputation, especially marketing listings, this generates lead opportunities. Now, what's important to note is that lead opportunities, we have it defined out right here. Consumers that have expressed some type of interest in a home, selling a home, or learning more about what you and your brand have to offer. They are an unqualified consumer, which means you must be savvy in working these opportunities through the sales cycle to convert them to a prospect. So what that means is that when you've got leads coming in through this program, and which we are effective with doing, very effective, is those leads, we've had people literally who want to look at properties or talk about listing their home within 7 days. We also have leads that can take, according to NAR, between 6 and 24 months to incubate an internet lead. So what we are able to deliver to you are these opportunities. You then need to know how to work them, how to reach out to them, working with your manager on best practices or other agents. And we've got, we help as much as we can, but once we give those leads to you, you are responsible for working them through that sales cycle. Some of them are going to be ready pretty quick. Some of them are going to be ready down the road. Some of them are going to be ready far down the road. But what's important is that you put them in your CRM, Moxie Engage, you take care of them, you nurture them, and when they are ready to sell, you are there for them. So that's what it is on a high level view. Let's now take a look at, if you guys don't mind, but no one said anything against it yet. I want to look at the actual packages themselves. What is included in the Digital Accelerator Program? So like I said, this is the first, and you'll notice, so we'll talk about this at the end. If you're interested, there's a form at the bottom of this page that you can fill out, and Tracy will reach out to you and have a call with you. But we put all of this information before that form because we want you guys to know what this program is, and the fact that you're here shows that you're going to know what it is. But we have all the different package levels. We've got all of the ideal candidate and what the program is, and then at the top up here we have an overview of what you'd be getting in each program. So let's take a look at this real quick. Make sure I keep drinking my caffeine so that I don't lose steam here. So the first thing we have, you can see across the top, is what we call our Getting Started package. Now, this is the one package that is a one-time fee. It is only purchasable with one of our other subscriptions with the Presence Plus or Premium package. It's not just something you can get by itself, is what I'm trying to say. But obviously, because this is a digital advertising program, we need you to have a Facebook business page, a Google business listing, have a Moxie website ready to go, and then of course have listings to lead set up. If you don't have one of these things or 3 or 4 of these things done, you can purchase the Getting Started package inclusive or with your subscription to get all that stuff set up for you. If you already have that stuff set up, great, you don't even need to worry about that. But if you're like, hey, I got to start basically from scratch or from a very low, I need help setting some of these things up, this is the package to get with that. After that, you're going to have the 3 different levels, which is Presence, which has 2 parts to it, Plus and Premium. Now, one thing I want to make very, very clear from the get-go, the monthly subscription price or fee of these programs is all you will ever pay month to month. There's no hidden fees. There's no hidden, oh, forgot to do this, so we need to go over, or oh, we need to do a bigger ad. So none of that. If you get the presence package at $250 a month, that is literally all you are going to pay for this month to month. There's never anything that's going to be hidden or added on or anything like that. So let's talk about it. So we've got presence, plus, and premium. Those are the 3 different levels. And one of the things that we are trying to do as this program goes out is listen to what we feel like we could add to the program. So there's actually a couple things we're going to be adding soon in the next, before the end of the year is a good way to put it, that are not here yet because they're not fully fleshed out yet. There's a couple things that we're going to be adding to the program. That's, again, not going to change the pricing. It's just going to be more things that we do in it. But one of the things that came from that was adding a social presence and a web presence package. So I want to go through these things line by line with you guys here. We're going to start with the presence, basically the base level. So the social presence is social media focused. Posting to Facebook and your YouTube channel if you have that set up for your listings, and then a LinkedIn page if you use that. 4 to 5 weekly posts on your business page. This is something that your digital marketer will go over with you, decide what kind of content you're looking for, custom graphics, curated articles, stuff like that. Hold on, my whole screen's blowing up. Custom landing pages generated for properties and therefore lead gen as well as you have properties coming in, and then delivering up to 15 lead opportunities monthly. So, and we'll talk about that as we go. The startup fee, all I don't have is the Google business. Do I still need to pay the 100? So good question, Lisette. So 2 things to that. One, yes. So if you still want the getting started, that is one of those things where it's kind of an all or nothing in terms of the pricing. Now, that being said, if you don't want to have to pay that, we can show you how to do it. I have a guide that I can send that shows you how to walk through setting it up yourself. And I'm going to talk about that point towards the end of this, one of the value propositions of this program and a good fit or not a good fit for it. But if there's only one that you don't have, you can just reach out and say, hey, can you send me stuff on how to do that? Because then you can set it up yourself, and then you'll have everything that you need coming into the program. So, but yes, if you've got one of the things or a couple of the things, but not all of them, we do kind of do an all or nothing. Like we'll set all of the things up. And if you have a Moxie site like set up, but you don't love it, we can still redo that. We can give it a makeover, even if it's already set up. So then, yeah, so delivering up to 15 lead opportunities monthly, that's sort of our benchmark of a minimum, if you will. And there are a lot of things that go into how quickly we're able to do that, but that's part of what we guarantee. And then up to 2 ad campaigns per month. So I'm a big believer in terms of the way the Facebook and social media algorithms work and best practices, that it's better to do bigger ads and fewer ads than spreading your budget thin over everything. So we make sure that the ad campaigns that we're doing are targeted, they are intentional, and they have very clear goals. Like I said here, all ad spend can be included. You got some asterisks you can see here. All ad spend included. Lead opportunities can be reduced at agent request. We have had agents reach out to their marketers and say, I'm getting so many leads, I need to pause the leads. We've been able to oftentimes deliver over and above what we kind of guarantee. And the agent said, we need to pull back on those for a little bit. So that's always going to be an option. That's always going to be up to you. And then finally, a commitment of 1 Zoom session per month with your digital marketing specialist and a 6-month participation in the program. So that's what we're going to talk about more so after we go through this part. But yeah, those are all sort of some of the asterisks there. The other presence level is web presence. So when we start to go into plus and premium, what you guys are going to see is that it's a lot of social media and website based stuff. So Moxie, some newsletters, some lead gen, stuff like that. The presence level is kind of divided in half. One is social media based, and this one, the web presence, is web based, website based. So this is the only program of the 4 that does not include lead generation, because this is purely focused on your website and driving traffic to your website. So you've got full Moxie website management. We will run your website for you. A customized homepage specific to you and your community, custom searches and community pages that go into detail. As long as you provide that information, we can build out some really cool pages on your local communities. Review and brand reputation management, which is going to include Testimonial Tree, the new product we are launching I believe in the next week or so. There's a training on that today and tomorrow. And then a Google ad campaign for direct website traffic that runs continuously for the entire time that your website is up and you're in Digital Accelerator. So social presence and web presence are the two presence levels. You can, within your 6-month commitment, switch from one of these. Maybe you want that web presence for the first month or two to really get your website up and going. And once that's taken care of, you want to switch to the social presence. That is absolutely okay. Now, the caveat to that is it's not something we recommend for best practices too much. So doing it once, right? Getting your website set up within the program and then moving over to social presence, that's totally fine. That makes sense. That's very possible. What I don't want to see for your own sake is web presence for the first 2 months, social for the 3rd month, web for 4th, social for 5 and 6. That's not going to be effective marketing. And so that is something that we will try to steer you away from. But starting with one and moving to the other is totally acceptable. However, we do have to delineate, if you're doing the web presence program, we're not going to be able to offer the things in social presence. It's not like, well, can you just do this for me or maybe add a couple of these? We have to delineate so that we make sure that we're focusing on what we promise in each package. So those are the social presence. Social presence is $250 per month and web presence is $275 because Google ads do require a little bit of a bigger budget to be effective. The next level up though is Digital Accelerator Plus. So this one comes in at $500, which is a bit of a, if you will, like discount of the two combined. So what you're going to see is a lot of the same stuff with just more things added. So posting to the social media, 4 to 5 posts a week, your Google business listing maintenance and updates, full company provided website, which means Moxie, full Moxie search engine optimization, SEO management. Basically, as we build your website, as we put content on there, we're not just doing it willy-nilly, we're not doing it loosey-goosey, we're intentionally building these sites out. Google ad campaigns, like we said, sponsored advertisements on Google to your website. A monthly curated and ready to send Moxie newsletter. To me, one of the most underrated parts of the program. I love the newsletters I see our team create. And they will create it for you within Moxie Present, and then they will deliver it to you and you can send it out to whoever you want in your sphere. The review and brand reputation management, which includes using your reviews, posting graphics. And again, now that we have testimonial tree coming out soon, that's going to be a huge part of it. And then of course the actual ad campaign. So 3 social media ad campaigns, not inclusive of Google. So there's going to be the Google ad campaign and up to 3 social media campaigns on Facebook and Instagram, Messenger, articles, stuff like that. Deliver up to 30 lead opportunities and 3 custom landing pages for your property. Like we said, ad spend includes stuff like that. Commitment of 1 Zoom call a month with your Dapper. Last but not least is Digital Accelerator Premium. That's basically where we take these programs, we take the plus. Of course, we add more lead opportunities, more ad spend, all of those things, but we put a huge luxury spin on this. Now, this is really designed for our global luxury agents and for our teams. So it's one of those like everything in the previous packages and where we really take everything and we just put a huge luxury upgrade on it. So luxury upgrades to your Facebook, to your YouTube channel, to your website. The content that we're going to be posting is going to be curated for luxury-based subjects. The Google business listings, of course, luxury website SEO management, luxury messaging. Like that's really the big thing here. If you're a luxury agent, that's a lot of the messaging. If you're a team, then we're able to, because of the level of this program, deliver more results for a team as opposed to something on the lower levels. Review and brand reputation management, your monthly newsletter, and then more lead opportunities, more ad campaigns, and more landing pages. So when you're looking at these programs, these are not things that are supposed to be delivered. Maybe, okay, so in the 2nd month, I'm going to do some of the, if you're a plus agent, in the 2nd month, I'm going to deliver the website management and then the ad campaigns, but then I'm not going to do the newsletter until month 3. And then I'm going to do a couple of the landing pages in month 3. These are all every month. Every single one of these things is to be delivered to you every month. And we'll talk about this in our next little subject matter here. Accountability for us is huge. So, we'll talk about that more in a moment here, but before we move on to that section, does anybody have any questions so far about the programs, about the levels, I am going to put this link in the chat real quick, just so everybody can have it. Again, it is right there on Schmidt Resources in that top bar in every single region, but I did just throw it in the chat. So if you have more questions, you can go directly there and take a look there. Any questions so far? And again, if you have questions, reach out to myself and Tracy. We're always more than happy to have conversations with you. When we'll talk about actually next, we're going to talk about the kind of the workflow of how you're going to enter the program. So any questions on any of that?
Do you see Cindy's question? Were you able to answer that, JD?
Nope, it just came through. Let me see that. For new listings, price changes, and open house, is this something that will automatically advertise for us? No, Cindy. So that's one of the things we're going to talk about. That is what you need to provide to your digital marketer. If you have a new listing that has just come on the market, if you have an open house, that's actually, I was just talking with Haley about this yesterday. She had one of her clients reach out and say, hey, we've got an open house on Saturday for this property. Can you get a graphic up for it? And she goes, yep, absolutely. From there, it's completely taken care of. But it is on the agent to provide that information to the digital marketers so that the ads can run. So great question, Cindy. Thank you for asking that. Yeah, that is where the collaboration part comes into play.
Yeah, and the digital marketers. Hi, everybody. This is Tracy. I'll turn my video on. You know, that's because the digital marketer needs to hear from you because they don't have access to the MLS. They don't have hot sheets in the morning. They can't tell what's a new listing, what's a sold, when you've done a price change or when you're doing an open house, right? So that's really, as JD said, where that communication and collaboration comes in, because this is your business. Mm-hmm. And we just need to hear from you as to what's happening in your business. So no additional cost to promote it once you do inform them. That's all part of the program. In fact, when JD goes in, you know, he talked about the 50% is brand reputation. 40% of the program is marketing your listings, your sold, your open houses, mm-hmm. you know, price changes, market analysis, all that cool stuff that happens in your business. And that's just all part of the program, Cindy. So yeah, absolutely no additional cost for any of that. What you see is what you get in that program. And, you know, keep the lines of communication open with your digital marketer because they'll guide you through it for sure. You know, Lizette, I'll answer a few more questions, JD, if you don't mind, since I'm on a roll. I'll give you a break to have a drink of coffee.
Go for it.
Lizette is asking if we choose what we want posted. Yeah, sure. Again, this is your business, you guys. You are the realtor. The digital marketers are not realtors. They're there to get all the content out there. They're the ones that know how to effectively market. You can absolutely choose what you want posted. In fact, you know, there's more that JD's going to tell you about meeting with your digital marketer and ongoing communication with your digital marketer. So yeah, this is all about you, right? Mm-hmm. Digital Accelerator Program is all about you and what you want out there for your brand reputation, for your business. So absolutely. Let's see. Cindy says she's really focused on luxury listings. But trying to find the best way. Well, digital marketing is where it's at. If you're really focused on luxury listings and you're trying to get your listings out there, digital is king. Digital is king. Do you like that, JD? Drop the mic.
I like
digital
it. Good.
Is king. Okay, I'm going to be quiet. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah. And, you know, and so it's a pretty good segue because the next thing I wanted to talk about is what your relationship with your digital marketer looks like in this program. Because that is, I think more so than any other part of the program, that is the most important part of it for it to be successful. So how this would happen is like if you were to fill out this form on Schmidt Resources and say that you're interested, you want to be a part of this, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to have a call with Tracy. And what she's going to go over with you, and which is what we'll talk about after this, is this going to be a good fit for you? Because this is not a program for everybody. And we'll talk about that, like I said, after this. But we want to go over to make sure that it's something that is right for you. And the second part of that call will be the expectations, right? What do we expect from you in the program, which honestly at its core is just communication and collaboration, showing up to your calls, talking to your digital marketer. You know, one thing that Tracy and I have had fielded questions with before is we have clients will call us and say, hey, you know, this so-and-so made this graphic and you know, it's not really my favorite. I don't really like the design of it and stuff like that. And we'll say, well, did you talk to your marketer about that? they'll go, well, no, I didn't. Say, well, they're the person you got to talk to. Like they want to succeed so badly. I mean, we had an example once where that happened, where one of oh, I know that I've said it before. So one of Haley's clients reached out to me and was like, hey, Haley made this graphic. It's not a bad graphic. It's just not really my style. And I was like, well, hey, tell that to her. Let her know that. And, maybe if you have an example of what you do, like show her that. So she did. She sent her a graphic and said, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking. Haley remade the graphic. The agent loved it. And it was incredibly effective. It was actually an agent in the office that I kind of am based out of in Michigan. And I saw it on my social media over the weekend. And it had so many reactions and comments. It was performing so well. All it takes is that communication. You're not going to hurt our feelings. We want to do well for you. So being able to say, hey, this isn't exactly what I was thinking, or hey, can we do this or something like that? That's really important that we have that communication. Another point too is that if you are in the digital marketing program, if you're in DAP, all of our digital marketers, I touched on this earlier, are all full-time graphic designers as well. So you can work with them on all of your digital marketing stuff and anything print related. So if you have a new listing coming up and you want them to advertise it on Facebook, you can also say, hey, would you mind making a postcard for this too, or an email graphic, something like that. They can do those things outside of Digital Accelerator for you as well. They're very well rounded. They are very skilled at what they do, and so they are there for you to leverage all the time. So what's going to happen then is you're going to have a call with Tracy if it's determined that like, hey, yep, this is going to be a good fit. This is the program for you. Tracy and I are going to discuss who we think you'll best fit with in terms of the digital marketers. Everybody on this team is fantastic. Sometimes we look at an agent and we say, this person's going to work really well with Nicole, or this person's going to work really well with Brittany or Haley, and we then connect. I'll call Haley and say, hey, you've got a new client, so-and-so, please reach out to them, and they're going to reach out to you. They're going to schedule an onboarding call, and that is going to be where we take it from. So you have your onboarding call. Haley made an amazing secure form to send over your social media passwords and stuff like that, because we need to have access to your accounts. And most of the time, those onboarding calls, if it's a 45-minute call, 30 to 35 minutes is where's my password. So we're trying to streamline that process a bit. But we go over what your goals are. What are you hoping to accomplish with this program? What are you trying to do for your business? And start building a lot of that content around that. So you have your onboarding call, and then from then on out, your digital marketer starts running with things. As long as they have everything they need from you, which is logins, which is content, which is categories of what you're interested in, they will start doing everything in that program every single month. Two things that we ask from you with that. One is that you communicate, like we said, throughout the month. You can email them, you can call them, say, hey, I've got this listing coming up, like we said, or hey, I'm thinking about trying to do something like this. Can we work on this? The other part that is just incredibly vital to this program being effective is showing up for these monthly calls every single month. We ask for a 30-minute Zoom call. From what I've heard from the team, oftentimes it can be a little bit quicker than that, but those monthly huddles are so important for this program, because what we do in those calls is we go over what we've done for you for that past month. So if we were to meet today, November 10th, we'd say, all right, the past 30 days, here's what we've done. Here are the ad campaigns we've run. We even have these really awesome, kind of one sheets that we'll send you with photos of your ads and the results from everything, just as an overview of how your ads have performed. And then we'll talk about what we want to do for the next month. So now maybe you're in the Midwest, you're in Michigan or Ohio, and you're saying, hey, my listings are slowing down. I really want to start focusing on this as we go into the winter months, or something along those lines. So having those huddles are so important. And as soon as we start to derail off of that, things can get very messy. So the way that we like to operate is that we like to put a recurring date on the calendar. Say, the 10th of every month at 10 a.m. is when I'm just going to pick a random name here. Amy and I have our calls, and it's on our Google calendars. It's the link is right there. If anything ever happens scheduling wise, we just ask that you tell them as soon as possible. The number of times we've had agents just not show up to a call and not connect with their digital marketer is higher than it probably should be. And trust me, we get it. we know what selling real estate is like. Things come up last minute. I've had a meeting last week that was moved last minute because, oh, I got a client with a showing. I got to go. Things like that happen. Communication is the key then. Letting your dapper know, hey, I can't make the 10 o'clock today. Can we push it to 12 or can we do something later? What we can't start happening is, radio silence and 3-4 weeks down the road still haven't had a call, because it's not that we're trying to hold your feet to the fire and say, you're not doing this. This is what makes the program successful. When I look at the clients in the program who are succeeding, who are getting great business, who are loving what's happening, it's because they are collaborating with their marketer the way that we've asked them to, showing up for the calls, reaching out throughout the week to touch base. Those are the true successes of the program. When we start to fall off of that, things start to happen, and it's hard for everything to go all engines running when we have radio silence. I had one agent, obviously never ever going to name names, so I'll just say I'll say Corey because he's one of our designers on the call. So Corey was onboarded with one of our dappers, and 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks go well, responding, stuff like that. And then our dapper says 4 weeks of nothing. Corey won't return her phone calls, won't return her emails, not like just kind of radio silence. And then Corey calls me and says, hey, JD, I'm thinking I want to exit the program. I don't think Digital Accelerator is for me. And I said, well, you haven't responded to anything for the past 4 weeks. That's 2/3 of the time you've been in the program. How can it be successful if you're not, interacting? So that collaboration, I can only drill this down so much because of how important it is. That collaboration with your digital marketer is the true key to success, because we hold ourselves accountable to you, and we want to be able to show you, this is what we've accomplished so far. This is what we're thinking of doing for this next month. So
yeah. JD, would you mind if I interject there? Because I think you just drove a really powerful point.
Mhm.
As JD mentioned earlier, you're going to do your first onboarding call with me. And I really spend a lot of time one-on-one during that onboarding call to dive deep into the program. But at the same time, I'm also reinforcing as to whether you're a good fit for the program or not a good fit for the program. And you'll hear me in the onboarding call emphasize that ongoing communication and collaboration, and responding to your digital marketer when they're trying to get ads out via email, phone call, showing up for the one meeting per month that's dedicated and focused to the accountability of the previous month's performance, reviewing analytics, what worked, what didn't, setting the strategy for the next 30 days. So I can tell you, there are times that I have to tell an agent, as bad as they want the program, they're not a good fit. And it's important that all of you understand that even though your digital marketer is going to do everything for you, they absolutely are. It's their job, right? Everything you see on that list in that program, they're going to execute on everything. But if you're not communicating with them and collaborating with them and responding to them and showing up, how can they do it, right? How can they do it? So you do play a role, and the role that you really play that's super important is that this is your business. It is your business. And this digital marketer is now part of your team, and you have to work with them. You can't just sign up and walk away, okay? So really, really important critical message. We have no problem telling people you can't be in the program, because we're not looking just to let everybody in. It has to be the right fit, right? So keep that in mind, okay?
Yeah. And one of what I want to talk about now are sort of like it's called Are You Ready for DAP? Basically, are you who the ideal candidate is for the program? And we kind of touch on this in these bullet points we're going to go over. But one of the things that we've heard from a couple of people sometimes when Tracy has those initial calls, or when I've talked to agents, is, okay, so this is what you guys do. They go, well, I can do that stuff. Like, I don't know why I would pay for someone else to do it. Okay, then it's probably not a good fit for you. If you think that you can do these things, and not think, if you can do these things, then you should be the one to do them. A part of this program, part of the value proposition is the Jesus take the wheel sort of aspect of it, where you're not the one driving the car anymore. You're in the passenger seat, but if you feel like, I know how to drive this, then you should drive it. Like that, we're not like Tracy said, I think that was a really powerful point. we're not trying to get people to sign up just because we want the most numbers. We want this to be successful. We want you to succeed in this program. So it's important to us that that it is a good fit. So kind of going through these a little bit, are you ready for DAP? You know, one of the things is, you know, these are guidelines. They're not hard and fast rules, but the concept behind them is really important. Has at least 1 year in the business and has listed and sold at least one property successfully. What we really need there is that you are not brand new to real estate, still trying to figure out the industry and paperwork and all of those things. That we want you to know how to work your business. As we do lead generating and generating lead opportunities, like we said, you need to know how to reach out to those lead opportunities, what to say to them. You need to know how to write, you know, listing agreements and paperwork, and so that when somebody reaches out to you and we're branding you as the local market expert, you are that local market expert. Has, you know, this is obviously a tricky thing, but has access to at least one listing at all times. These could be your listings or these could be office listings, but we've been doing this program consistently, like I said, for just about a year now. And far and away, the two things that people respond the best to are you, meaning your face, you as an agent, but also listings. Listings far and away generate the most leads. They generate the most clicks and traffic. So having access to listings is very, very important for us to be able to reach those benchmarks, to reach those lead gen goals. This is another important one that we have struggles with, is you're able to commit to at least 6 months. One of the things that I see our agents struggling with the most, whether it's digital marketing or marketing in general, is the consistency that true successful marketing requires. Marketing is not a one and done thing. It is not a 1 week, a month thing. You know, I do one Facebook ad a month for 7 days or for 10 days. That's not effective marketing. Effective marketing is consistency. Having ads go out there in the market consistently, especially when it comes to branding ads, especially when it comes to marketing yourself in your communities. Consistency is required for things to be successful and have the greatest impact. Starting and stopping isn't effective. So we ask that you are able to commit to at least 6 months when you sign up, because when it comes to the Google ads, the social media ads, like, it takes time for things to really start to drill down into consumers' brains. You know, I one time had an agent tell me, this agent used to do a lot of Facebook, well, still does a lot of Facebook video. And he said that one time he was walking back to his car from lunch and somebody stopped him and said, "Hey, I recognize you from your videos on he said, "I'm sorry, I keep seeing your videos on Facebook. Do you have a card? Because my wife and I have been thinking about selling." And what was really impactful to me about that statement was that I keep seeing your videos on Facebook. Not I saw one of your videos or I saw one of your posts. It's I keep seeing. It is consistency that really drives successful marketing. And so we ask that you're able to commit to at least 6 months so that consistency can start to build. And proficient in the tools that you use, right? So when we're doing, you know how to work your MLS, you know how to access stuff like that. When we do lead generation, those leads that we generate funnel right into Moxie Engage. They go right into your CRM in Moxie. So you need to be able to know how to access those leads, how to reach out to them, how to work them. So knowing those tools is important. And then the last couple here that we said, like we said, collaborating and effectively communicating with your digital marketing specialists, engaging them to create content specific to you. And then, of course, being able to effectively nurture and develop the unqualified and unscrubbed lead opportunities that your digital marketing specialist delivers to you. So those are some of the points that we say make a quote unquote successful or ideal candidate. Like we said, it's not for everyone. We don't want to sign you up just so we can sign you up. We want you to be successful in this program. We want to be able to deliver what we promise. And part of that is you holding up your end of the bargain to show up for these meetings and to show up for these calls and stuff like that. So any questions on that stuff so far? We only have a little bit left. I want to just kind of talk about some of the successes that we've had before we wrap. Any questions? Let's see. Your meeting reference right there. Scott was you. That's that request. I think you might think of neighborhood news, Mike. Neighborhood Scout's actually pretty cool. I like that idea, though. I think we should. I call dibs on that. Neighborhood news is or Moxie Present maybe. So yeah, you might have to maybe want to offline about that, because I'm not sure. I want to make sure that I'm thinking about what I'm addressing what it is you're talking about. Neighborhood news is part of Moxie. It's sort of like a monthly market update that Moxie has built in. It's honestly one of the best parts of Moxie because of how powerful the information is. But no, there's no additional cost or subscriptions to anything that you would have to sign up for within Digital Accelerator. We would set all of those things up. If a client that you have signs up for neighborhood news, that's great, because they're going to get market update information right from you. They can unsubscribe from that and stuff like that, but that's not anything that you would have to do. Clara asks a great question. Will this work with commercial real estate? And Clara, we are in the early stages of creating a commercial-based program for Digital Accelerator. These ones here are meant for residential. We have done commercial properties, within the program. We have an agent who gets the commercial property. But on the whole, from bird's eye view, a lot of the marketing techniques that work for residential on social media don't always work for commercial. So we do have a new commercial real estate marketing specialist on the team. It is something we are looking to do over the next few months, to have one dedicated to that, a Digital Accelerator dedicated to commercial. But it's not something that we have at this time, because again, we want it to be right. I don't want to just say, yeah, sure, it works with commercial, and then not be able to deliver what we're able, what we promise. So there's one in the works. That's a very good question, though. Thank you for that one. Okay, so again, if you guys have more questions, keep rolling them in. I'm going to go on to the testimonials, but I will, of course, go back to any questions that come in. So what is always important to me is talking about the successes of this program, because it is so much fun. So I have a bit of a screenshot here of just some of the things. I'm going to, of course, read these, but these are direct testimonials. I don't know why I took my glasses off. I was supposed to freaking read. Direct testimonials from clients in the program. Some of them are pretty simple, right? I've definitely noticed a difference in the number of leads and people looking at my stuff. I also like this next one. FYI, we have gotten about 35 leads just from the Dalton Ridge ad. That's the first ad that this digital marketer ran for this client. The very first ad, she said we had 35 leads come in for it. I think that's more leads than we received over the past year alone. And that was a great example of a team who were like, we can do this, and they know how to do it, but they just didn't have the time. So they brought Digital Accelerator into their marketing and saw those immediate results and saw the value of having somebody else run it for you. This one was a great one. This is one of our clients that reached out to Deanna, who's in leadership in the Sunstar region. Not prompted, not asked for this, just decided to send this out. Just wanted to drop you a note to let you know how happy I am with Brittany. She understands what I want and is getting my message out to the social world. Such a great marketer. I'm so glad I stuck with this. And then I love this other one. Oh my God, you made it so easy. Where have you been all my life? Don't change a thing. That was when one of our marketers sent an agent one of the ads that she had made for her. She loved it that much. And then a couple ones that I added, there was an agent who was in the middle of getting 2 listings under contract from 1 lead generated through Digital Accelerator. This person had 2 properties in Ohio that they wanted to sell that came in through a Digital Accelerator lead program. And then one of my favorites is this bottom one here, is that, when the purpose of a newsletter is to stay top of mind with your sphere, right? Like stay top of mind, make sure they see you, they get valuable information. We had one agent in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan actually receive a lead from his newsletter. A client loved the newsletter so much and forwarded it to a friend of his, who then reached out to our agent and worked with them. So the power of the newsletter was so great that a client said, "Ooh, I want to send this to JD." And then JD called the agent and said, "Hey, so-and-so sent me your newsletter. I would love to, work with you." So even, the non-lead generating parts of the program sometimes have those successes of generating leads. And then, the other one, like I said earlier, I got to hear one of Nicole's clients just rave about her, just rave about how great it is to work with her. And so how much she loves the PDFs that she sends with all the information and the newsletter she created. That was really fun for me, because the ad results are great and they're important. That's the, the ultimate goal. But what makes this successful is the relationship you build with these, with your digital marketer. A lot of these programs you sign up for posting to your social media, they'll have you fill out a form, they'll have you check some boxes. There's maybe a chat bot for support, but you don't have an actual person you are working with. And part of what like I said earlier, part of what people connect to is you. That's what makes your business thrive, is you. And so injecting that into your marketing is what makes it successful. So final thing, I mentioned this a second ago, but do we understand this creates a new Moxie website rather than work from the one we have? No, David. So that's a good point. So if you have a Moxie website set up, but you're like, oh, we just kind of did the thing, we checked the boxes to get it up and running, we can take that and make it more custom. We can kind of give it a facelift basically and do a 2.0 version. If you like the website you already have, you're like, hey, I have it set up the way I want it to, great, we can make some tweaks to it, but then we can also add additional content and then take the site that you have that you like and run that through the Google ad campaigns and stuff like that. So we're going to use your Moxie account at the very least to set it up, because the leads have to flow into your program. But we can either take what you have. So that's a different point. So Dave says it isn't a Moxie website now. Yes. So what we work on within the program is Moxie. So if you have a third-party website that you love and you want to use, that's great. We can use that for your digital marketing and for your ad campaigns. What we can't do is work on those websites for you, mainly because there's so many different platforms out there that it could be built on Wix or Squarespace or WordPress or any of these things. And we don't, we're not all versed in all of those, but also we don't have really any control over those, even if we have access to things here and there. So if you have a third-party site that you like, that you want to leverage for the marketing, totally fine. If you want us to work on that website and redo it for you, we would build that within Moxie. And if you've got a custom domain, let's say, you've got jdwaldvogelrealtor.com or jdwaldvogel, St. Croix, I should get that .com, and you use that for your current website. Once your new one is built, you can redirect that to the new site. So the address can go wherever we want it to go. It's just about, do you like the core of this site? So yeah, hopefully that answers that. If it's a Moxie site, it's not a Moxie site, we can leverage it, but the team will not personally work on it. But we can still rebuild that in Moxie, and we can try to mimic it. We can, we've had an agent say that, like, this is what my site looks like now. Can you do this but better? So we try to mimic the layout, but just make it even nicer. So hopefully that answers that question. If not, let me know, of course. So what I want to show you guys now is the last step, like I said, is how to get in touch about this. I'm going to go right from the beginning. You go to Schmidt Resources, you click on any region. And of course, like we said, that Digital Accelerator square is right there. Then you click on that. And then when you scroll to the bottom, you're going to have to look at the packages. You're going to have to look at the program, what it is. And then at the bottom here, there's a form. Think you're ready for that, fill out the form below, and we'll be in touch to book your onboarding call. So name, email, phone number, region, package you're interested in, any comments, you submit that through. Tracy reaches out to you within a couple of business days and has that conversation. And you know what? We've had some agents reach out and say things like, hey, I'm really interested in this, but not till January. Or I'm thinking about doing this maybe in the spring. Have that conversation now. We'll make that note in our systems to reach out to you when that time comes. If you say, hey, I'm probably thinking about maybe in March, we'll reach out to you in February and say, hey, you still think in March, you still want to sign up for Digital Accelerator? Should we get something on the books? If you have interest, we can, push that out so that we are reaching out to you when that time comes. So our e-news, David, I think you and I should maybe offline, because I don't want to get into the weeds about specific programs and stuff right now. If you use Top Producer, again, that's totally fine. You can use that CRM. It just starts to limit what the team is able to do within that. But it might be something that we should offline about and kind of go into deeper detail. Tracy, any things that I'm missing that you want to strike home before we wrap up?
No, I think you did a great job. You nailed it. I think you drove home all the important points, and I would encourage each of you that are with us today to go in and deep dive into that square and then fill out the form and I'll reach out to you and we'll have a conversation for sure. So thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you guys. And one quick point while it's in my head, I want to make it clear too that like you don't lose access to your social media, right? You add the team to it and stuff. If you've got something you want to post it. If you've got something that you want to add, go for it. That's always going to be right there for you. And if you've got, elements that you still like that you want to do, we can combine some of those things so that everything is running effectively. So, okay, like we said, thank you guys for your time. We really appreciate it. Fill out that form if you're interested. If you've got other questions before even that point, again, email us, email myself or Tracy, and we'll have those conversations. But this is a program we're really, really proud of because we have great people behind it. It's very intentional and we've had some really cool successes. So we hope to hear from some of you. So have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.